This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research.
Bro.
That's not what I said.
Bro. That's insane.
I'm just saying. Welcome to
the
show.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Audience, listeners, people.
There's four of us?
Four voices? Four different voices?
Comforting feminine voice.
Yes, Courtney has returned.
I have.
I felt the sass levels drastically skyrocket
Good.
with that comment.
We're all nervous.
We were missing
we've
it.
been so unhinged for the last 3 months.
Yeah, we about to get rained back.
Yeah,
in.
now we're gonna. I feel like.
Just get Kane yanked off the stage.
Like when you're in a classroom and the teacher has to step out to go to the principal's office for a second and the class just goes crazy and then the teacher walks back and you have to pretend like you weren't just acting nuts for the last 3 months.
That's exactly what I
4 months.
That made so much sense. Yeah, that makes so much sense.
already.
I don't know.
I think too much damage has been done. I don't know how much I can rein this in now.
We've gone too far.
You've been out in the hallway for too long.
I haven't listened to every episode. but
I feel like
I've heard.
the Discord is more evidence than anything of...
Yeah, I just started
How chaotic
swiping.
we've-
Guys, I'll be honest with the Discord. I just have been swiping.
You
swiping
had
notifications. No, I don't. There's not much silence in my
Honestly,
life now.
between Mike and I, we comment enough for all 4 of us.
Just saying.
It's true. We keep it going in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, also the Courtney hasn't
Lizard.
heard the soundboard.
No, you've been sending me enough of those. Oh my goodness.
I love that that's the first one you...
Okay, with the lizard thing, my favorite one so far, because I've seen hundreds of them, my favorite one is where they bleep out bad words.
Yeah.
And replace them with lizard. Yeah.
My lizard,
so
my
great.
lizard.
I love it.
It's so great.
And they'll put it in like a raunchy song.
Yeah.
But it's all lizard, so it's like, this is clean now. I can listen to this without it.
I wonder if they could do that with we could do that with movies. You know, we do it with a movie. You know, they walk around the corner and they're like, "What the lizard?" You know,
No.
That'd be like, what is that? Like VidAngel.
I had to
has
look
the
up what-
options where you can filter out content that you don't
Yeah.
want to see. Yeah, they should add that to
yeah.
their.
See, I had to look up
lizard
what movie it was
repertoire.
from because I was
Yeah.
like, it was so funny. I was like, I don't even know what this is from, and I realized it was from Alio, and it didn't that movie bombed so hard that more people know about the lizard than they know about the movie.
I don't know.
In context, I have no idea what's going on with the lizard, but it's hilarious.
Same.
I was
And it
that
makes
way
for a
for
funny soundboard.
I was that way for a long time with Moana and the chicken.
Yeah.
I didn't watch
yeah,
that
yeah.
for
So
quite a while.
good.
It is a good
Love
movie,
Moana.
Yeah, it is a good
but I didn't watch it for a long time until I had seen the chicken memes 100 times.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. I get that.
sometimes a meme is all it takes to introduce you to something good.
That's
You
true.
know?
Memes are amazing. I created a meme for shout out. He probably doesn't listen to this show, but my buddy Caesar, Mike, you know Caesar because he
I
was
know
in
Caesar. He's a
my
good
wedding. I created a meme that was Courtney didn't allow me to send, but if you're interested, I will send it to you privately
It's very controversial.
for his birthday.
Did you hear
Happy
The first
birthday.
judgmental sigh heard on these airwaves.
But shout out Caesar, happy
many
birthday.
moons?
Happy birthday,
Hey.
Caesar.
Okay, so
Wait, you say it's his birthday?
yeah, it's his birthday.
Oh, I didn't know
today.
Ashley's birthday is today too.
Oh yeah,
Why
yeah.
didn't
Happy
we?
birthday, Ashley. Yeah.
yes, happy birthday.
I forgot about
yeah.
that too.
Happy birthday,
I am
Caesar.
horrible at birthdays. Literally, the only I have to put in everybody other than my immediate family. I have to put
Yeah.
their birthdays in my calendar because otherwise
do
I
the
will
same.
forget.
I just
have
don't.
no
I just
clue.
forget. I just let it
I'm
be.
horrible with birthdays.
Beth
Like-
knows birthday. She's like, hey, next Thursday is, so and so's birthday. I'm like, oh, they get birthdays too.
I know.
Just like, unless it's immediate family.
That's what I
I'm
thought
out,
Phil was
you
going
know?
to say for some reason when it was like, oh, it's Caesar's birthday. I didn't realize he had a birthday. Is what my brain did.
Listen, I may be stupid, but I'm not dumb.
What's that called? The object permanence. Like if
yeah?
you can't see it, you forget it exists.
Oh, yeah.
I have that really bad, and so I will forget people exist at times, and then I'll be like scrolling. And I'm like, oh, dude, I wonder what they're doing, and then like they're living in Shattern again, and I'm like, I had no clue. I'm like,
Right.
That's funny.
sorry about it.
We should, to help develop that in you, we should start playing peekaboo with you because that's how you help develop object permanence in babies.
Is that why I don't have object permanence? Because my mom and dad probably didn't play peekaboo with me.
Oh,
There's
we played
prob-
peekaboo
okay,
with you.
are you gonna-
between the trying to uncross your eyes? Trying to uncross your eyes when you were
That's
little?
true.
That's true. I did have a nasty. My eyes still go like sideways when I get tired, like crazy.
Like the lizard.
That's how I know I'm tired.
His eyes just go out further. Have you
Yes,
noticed that?
And I think it might be genetic too, because when I get tired, I got one eye that goes. Which just goes.
Baby
tries to
Bryson
escape
does
my head.
too.
Baby boy. Yes.
Yeah, all three of my
But
kids
his is
do, too.
corrected
Yeah.
already. It's not too. I haven't
that-
caught it for
Just
a while
when we're
now.
tired, though. Just
That's
tired,
how I
just
know I'm
wonders.
tired. Like it's my first symptom of being tired. Like I will feel wide awake, and then I'll blink heavy once, and I'll open my eyes, and my eyes are like, and everything's all weird, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting tired.
I have a new mission in my life, and it's to get a picture of Tanner when his eyes are defocused.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
that was loud.
that was very
Tanner,
loud.
I apologize.
Tanner gives himself a new power. I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna. Okay, I will. Okay,
When do we add all the stings, guys? 'Cause, like,
I will-
This is not gonna.
okay. I will say this. I get really annoyed at podcasts that overuse soundboards, and so I will purposely not become that.
Gosh.
But when you have the power, it is so tempting
tempting,
to
yeah.
use it all of the time. I have had to tell myself no 3 times already on this podcast. Okay,
So we're sitting at 2 for 5.
exactly. We'll get there.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's crane capping competition. I can't say crane capping because I said crane capping. Crane capping competition.
We capping crangs.
We should have misspelled it on here just for you. Like
Crane capping.
crank, like a
Crank. I'm still not saying it correctly.
No, you're not.
You're correct. You're not saying it correctly.
Cracking a competition.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even a tongue twister. I just can't say it. Okay, so
Is this the last one?
okay, here's the thing.
Because I see something sitting on the table here.
On a somewhat of a technicality, Mike and I are tied. Oh. The technicality was Mike decided to open his can last week or 2 weeks ago before not even recorded it. He just was like, I'm thirsty, cracked his can, and was like, crap, I didn't do it in the mic. And so he was disqualified from 2 weeks ago.
According to Tanner, I didn't agree to the disqualification.
Well, you
But then-
disqualified
It is kind
yourself.
of a conflict
Well-
of interest when you're the
well,
ones making the rules too.
But then,
so.
but then he decides he's gonna mouth crack the can go
What?
whatever.
Did he open it with his mouth?
Mouth can cracking.
Did people buy that?
Mouth
If you can open a can,
Mouth
if you
crack.
can open
Okay,
this
listen,
can,
So
if you're-
many meetings.
If you're starting with this episode and working backwards, you're going to be so confused at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, but
Why you would do
So-
that?
so we can either call it good on a tie or have this be the tie-breaking episode. I'm good with whatever because that thing is cool
So did
I
enough.
was gonna say I like the idea of
That
that thing just
thing.
sitting here.
I was gonna
haven't
say
even
one way or
said
the
what
other.
that
point
thing is,
for my
that thing.
my mouth can cracking.
Mouth can crap.
Is that
What?
what you're saying on the technicality? Did I get a point on that one?
No.
Well, if I'm disqualified,
absolutely
why does that make a
did not.
difference?
Ingenuity.
So the fact that
So
you did that was
confused.
not relevant.
Because it disqualified you, and had you opened it correctly, you possibly could have won the whole
Okay,
thing.
but the mouth sound one is not what disqualified him. The fact that he opened the can before
Yes.
the mic was on is what disqualified him.
So you were disqualified.
So you just brought
in
that up
between
for
Phil and
notes.
I. Yeah, I only put, okay. I will say, so I only
Awkward
counted
stairs.
first place. I didn't go through and calculate
We know
who got second
we
place and who got
know-
third place.
We know who got third place.
It is-
It's better than not being able to participate in the entire
We don't want
because I'm looking at
we don't want to
and so
we don't
far
want to give any initials or anything, but his first name's Phil.
You guys have only referred to it as that thing, and I said there's something on the table.
There
We
is
haven't
something
even
on the
described what the thing is.
So, I will post a picture in the Discord. If you want to see it, sorry about it. You're going to have to join the Discord.
Do we give a description then?
Yes. So this thing is...
Wait, time out. I think Courtney should describe it.
Yeah, Courtney, describe
I
it.
can't
Turn
even
it towards...
properly
I
see
think
it.
Courtney should be the one.
Is this a Beth creation?
She's very descriptive.
Wow. Is this a Beth creation?
This is a Macy.
a Macy creation. Oh, wow. From the mind of Macy. It's a, I mean, what would you even call it, man? It's like a little model, like the old gas pumps, and there's just like an empty chamber in the middle, and it's covered in like gold glitter footprints. It says 2025 Can Kraken Champ. There's a Bigfoot wearing a hat on the top. It's pretty glorious, man. And then Mike, didn't you say that there's a special feature to it?
Yeah, so if you fill it up, it holds liquid, and you can drink out of the gas nozzle.
Wow.
That is amazing.
It's like the old glass top gas pumps. Is what it is.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's pretty
It's like
great.
what, 18 inches tall?
I'll be honest. I had high expectations because you said Macy was creating it.
Yeah.
And it still is cooler
yeah.
than my expectations.
That's so great.
This thing's dope.
It is legit. So,
And does it
the
say
winner
BA
of it...
Bigfoot on there too?
Yeah, on the side it
I
says
think-
BA Bigfoot.
Wow,
And it's
that's
got a
great.
big giant Bigfoot
Yeah.
on that side.
I think
So
one way
props
or the
to
other,
Macy.
when we do go video, it has to be a part of the prop set. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Well, and I
It
was
is so cool.
gonna say like even it, like regardless of who wins, I think this needs to become part of the decor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the pod room.
Yeah,
Instead of a
absolutely it
donation
does.
thing either way. So
Yep.
I think somebody needs to drink out of it once just to prove that it works.
Whoever wins has to...
We'll have to
Drink.
That needs
I
to
mean,
be
it
bonus
technically
material.
belongs to whoever wins. It's
That's
just,
true. That's true.
but
Whoever
it's
wins
going
gets
to
to drink
stay.
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
going to be the decor.
And if you try to take it home,
yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to see I want to see it actually work. Like,
Right.
I'm intrigued. on
Same.
how this thing works. Drinking
Same.
out of it.
That should be bonus material.
Bonus. Yeah. That'll be Patreon material.
But, yep, we'll take a video and we'll save it for the.
Yep, for Patreon when we get it set up
like
soon.
it.
Okay, so this is for all of the marbles. Phil, you want to go first?
I kept him.
I can go first.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's great.
He went hard.
Oh, yeah, he was like, I'm going to win this one and just force a tie.
Yeah.
All right, am I going second?
Yeah, that works. Not bad, not bad. All right, this is for all of it. I gotta stretch. All right, stretching, cracking the knuckles.
I need the soundboard right now.
I know. I had all kinds of sounds I could have used right there.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh.
I accidentally hit it twice.
We need to get rid of that.
Which made it even better.
problem.
All right. Okay. Whew, here we go.
Aww.
That was a sad one.
That was-
There was like no carbonation in that one. I think Mike just won it. We'll see. I will say this. There has been times where I was 100% sure one of us was the winner.
Yeah.
And when it came back on the actual podcast, it sounded completely different.
Right.
When you were editing.
And so then people would vote, and so the person I thought would win didn't win because maybe it was because I still had the thought of what it sounded like when we recorded, or people just liked a different sound.
I have a theory that I've been at a disadvantage for most of the times we've done it because my hands are smaller than you guys's. And so, like, the fact that I had a smaller can this time made it easier to do it good.
Blame
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's,
You just blame the carbonation.
at the end of the
did.
day,
That's true.
at the end of the
Listen,
day,
that's fair.
skill
That's
issue.
fair.
It is skill issue.
Listen, Burger King. Like, listen, BK. We can't Burger King. Do you ever see those?
What are you?
Do you ever see the old Burger King commercials for the small hands? Like,
Oh,
can't handle the
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
water because his hands are too small. Like,
then-
I do remember that. Sorry, there's
I just aged
there's been a
myself, I'm
more
sure.
recent instance of someone Burger King related not like controversial. The airplane incident. Are you familiar with?
No.
Nope. All right. Well,
So that I am either.
you'll have to look that one up on your own because we're not talking about it on here. But
Okay, there.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
To continue then with that, I'll have to look it up now. We finally found the witch's brew. And this thing has been controversial already because
wait, what? Really?
yeah, apparently there's
Why?
a bunch because the Alani Nu really pushes towards like teenage girls. And so teenage girls are drinking multiples of these and like having heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And okay, let's be real. Like any person who drinks caffeine, 200 milligrams of caffeine is like nothing for people who drink like a lot of caffeine. But for like a rando teenage girl who's like, I want to jump on this trend and doesn't drink caffeine, having multiples of these, that might be a little bit.
Okay. So
Or it could be all fake TikTok trend stuff.
Yeah.
too.
Just selling
well, so
the Alanis.
I came across a thread, and I don't remember if it was Reddit or TikTok or where it was at, but I realized that my caffeine game is not anywhere near what I thought it was, because there are people who apparently, and they could be lying, it's the internet, remember that, kids, but they were saying they have been up at like 2,500 milligrams
blah.
at a time before, and I'm
Blah.
just like,
No.
what do you mean? And I know people that do like 1,000 in a day, like that.
Right.
I've heard of that, and that's but like over 2,000 milligrams of caffeine in a day
Yeah.
is absurd.
No.
And I was just like, I had 800 something the one time, and that I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
So triple that? No.
So, and I also, if you're getting that source from energy drinks, I have a theory. Excuse me. I have a theory, but so I want to say flavor wise, the Alani, you explained it as eating a caramel apple sucker, but the caramel's almost gone.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is.
yeah, that was a really good description.
It's because the caramel adds the sweetness to that sour apple.
Yeah.
When you eat the sucker, and this is like a lot of the caramel. It's heavy on the sour.
heavy on the apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually I like because it's
I
real
do
strong
too.
flavor.
It's
and
really
good. I kind of stay away from the real strong sweet flavors, but I really
Yeah.
like this one because
it occurs to me that I don't know that I've actually had a proper apple energy drink before.
Have you-
like apple flavored?
And
I know.
Have you
I know-
tried the Apple C4 one? The Jolly Rancher, Apple Jolly Rancher one?
that one's
Yes.
That one's my favorite apple.
But it tastes like Jolly Apple or sour apple
true.
Jolly
Not
Rancher.
like an actual
It doesn't
apple.
take like an apple. This tastes like apple. Like,
Yeah.
this is legit.
Apple
This
is one of
really
my
good.
favorite flavors, like the Mexican sodas and stuff that are apple.
Dude,
Oh,
okay.
man, I love those things.
I bought a pre-workout that its flavor description was apple. And so in my brain, I was like, okay, if you wanted to list it as sour apple, you would say green apple or sour apple. So I thought it was like the like actual apple flavor. So I was so excited and I got it. It was just sour apple.
Right.
I was so mad because I love that actual like apple flavor.
And so one of my favorite flavors is apple, and this might be a Mandela effect thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody older can confirm, somebody that's old like me. But when I was a kid, two of my favorite things in the world, two of my favorite flavors, and I've talked to people and they're like, that was never a thing. And I'm like, I 100% know it was a thing. Apple Kool-Aid was amazing. And I know it wasn't around for long, but I remember drinking apple Kool-Aid and people are like, you're crazy. That never existed. The other one is bacon flavored Cheetos. That was a thing. And I know it was.
I'm
Bacon
upset
cheddar,
that that's
Cheetos,
not a thing now.
And people are like, that never existed. I'm like, I know, I can taste it right now thinking about it. That's so vivid
Crazy.
in my memory.
I don't remember.
So I don't know if anybody can confirm or deny.
Crazy.
That would be really cool. Because so far everybody I've ever talked to about it denies both of those flavors.
What
And
kind
those two are my
of
favorite flavors.
homebrew Kool-Aid was your mom giving you, man?
That could
We've
be.
got Kool-Aid at home, son.
We've got Kool-Aid at home.
It was
You
just
are my sunshine, my only. Drink your Kool-Aid.
inside joke. Oh, it's
not
Not
I
an
was gonna say,
inside
it's- all right,
joke.
It's a podcast joke.
You
Yeah,
threw it
if
out
you-
into the front yard, so
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say,
it's out there, guys.
If you're up to date on the podcast, Laura, you know what he just triggered in my brain.
The look on Tanner's face when I did that was awesome.
It's
That was
uncomfortable.
awesome. I have power over Tanner now with that one. I like it.
Someone should.
So, there you go. Woo! Welcome back, Courtney.
All right. Dang. First time I've caught bullets in a while. All right, so Phil, we got to hear your best Mike impression.
Oh yeah.
Since
yeah.
we
To be
we
fair,
dogged
we've been
you
picking on Phil like
hopefully-
crazy. It's his
Hey,
turn.
Hopefully,
good. Sorry.
hopefully I have kept my voice low enough that I can still reach that register. Ready?
Yes.
All right. I'm about to say something that is either super thoughtful and intelligent or completely unhinged. And it really doesn't matter because you're going to like what I have to say regardless because I have this smooth, low voice that just makes people feel good.
High five. That was good. That was good.
They're not going to know if that was Phil or me.
Yeah, they're like,
good.
wait,
That
was
was really
Mike
good.
making fun of himself? What
That was
happened
really
here?
good. That was good. All right.
Oh my!
I do have a Tanner impression.
Oh,
Let me hear
Are
it.
you ready?
all right.
All right. Bro.
No, that's
Listen.
not what I said. What I said was,
It was really dork. It was dork. This one,
you're being
it was dork.
stupid,
It was dork.
and I
what
want
we're
to
gonna
punch you
do-
in the face,
Just to save
but
time.
I'm not going to do that.
Just to save time, I want you guys to understand that the early bird gets 2 stones.
Okay. You won it with that one.
That's great.
Phil was starting to take the lead a little bit.
The ism,
Oh
the
my
Tannerism,
gosh.
the Tannerism won
Oh.
that so hard.
It's called verbal dyslexia, guys.
It's called mixing metaphors.
Yeah, I've looked it up.
Technically.
It is actually a
Technically.
form, it's verbal dyslexia. Apparently, it's a real thing. Have you ever listened to Cy Robertson talk?
Yes.
Apparently, he does the same thing a lot. He's famous for the float like a butterfly, sting like a flea, or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. So I'm
It's
guessing he
interesting because
probably has verbal
you kind of look
dyslexia,
like
too.
a way younger and way larger Cy Robertson.
My dad looked a lot like Cy.
Yeah, he
really
did.
in his
He
later
did.
years.
His life.
Your dad
Early
absolutely.
years, he looked like Tommy Chong.
Yes, he
Early
did.
years, he looked like Tommy Chong.
He
The
went
older
from
he
Tom.
got-
Now imagine,
Tommy
picture in your
Chong
brain,
just-
Tommy Chong, but
Yes.
white.
And Duck
Tommy's
Dynasty.
pretty white too, but and then now morph him into Cy, and that was the life cycle of our dad.
yeah, definitely.
Especially when he started coming to church. Yeah.
Oh
In the
my
last
gosh,
Those
yeah.
last few years, he got a lot of comments like that. Yeah.
So he won. Okay, funny that this whatever. When he had to go in because he had a piece of his intestines like stopped working or something, and so he got flight for life or whatever down to Colorado, and they put him under, and so he was growing out his beard what he was saying was he was growing his beard out until my mom got healed. When she got healed or got a new kidney or whatever, he would then trim it off. So it's his big old long beard. And then they just lopped it straight across.
Goodness.
Oh yeah, it was like
They
bangs
did it.
on his chin.
They did it trying
like
to make
bangs.
it look nice.
Jangs.
They just literally
So
just
bad.
snipped straight across.
Yeah,
And
it was so bad.
He was so mad because then in his head he had this internal fight of like, do I trim it up and make it look decent? Or do I stick with my goal of I'm not cutting my hair until mom gets healed? So then he kept it like that for a little while.
Yeah,
And eventually
I
it
finally
kinda
talked him
grew.
into cutting it.
Is it- okay, I was gonna say,
I went
I
out to
couldn't-
the house and I brought my clippers and we cleaned him up. And I was like, I remember that was so bad.
When
It
we
was
went down to
so
get
bad.
when we
beard
went
ever.
down.
But
to
I
get
feel
him,
I feel that. Like I get it. I get why he had a dilemma, but it was
that
bad.
was the most important thing
Oh.
on his mind too.
Yeah.
When we got down
And
there.
at the hospital, why?
Not the giant
I realized they had
incision.
to get to things medically, but like at least, give the dude some dignity when you're doing
but my thought
Having had an emergency C-section now, there's very little dignity involved.
His beard was long enough.
Fair.
They could have just tucked it behind his neck. Like, that thing was long.
Yeah.
And it would have been more out of the way than just lopping it off. Because then the hair was down by his chest. So what did they do? Did they just leave it, like, an inch above where they cut? Like, did they just leave the hair there? Or did they
I don't know.
tuck it back after that?
So many questions.
It makes
Give it a
no
hair.
sense.
I
Give it a
forgot
hairnet.
about that.
I was mad for him because I was like, that's stupid. Why wouldn't you just
It looked
put
bad.
it in a ponytail
looked
and
bad.
tuck it behind his neck?
Now,
Like,
had he been
come
somebody
on.
famous or somebody like cool or influential, that beard would have caught on.
He should have had he should have
Just
had an
squared off
insurance
beard?
policy on his beard.
Man.
Man.
Oh,
That's true. Yeah,
Hindsight.
he'd have probably had insurance, and then he'd have been. He probably, yeah. These days, you can sue over anything. He probably could have sued him over
Unless
that.
you had Disney Plus free trial back in the day.
Oh my
Right?
god.
Sue on
Yeah,
that.
for
We
real.
talked about that.
Yeah. So, in case you haven't realized, this episode is kind of unhinged. This is.
It is.
I know you better get us under control over here. Courtney.
Well,
Do
no,
your
I was
job.
actually going to send us off on a completely different tangent because in your impression, Mike, of Tanner,
Oh, yeah.
you kind of threw one of those
you were
mixed
my
metaphors
inspiration
in.
for that,
So
actually.
I have a few more accumulated. I don't know if it's mom brain or I don't know if Tanner has just been like on it because I only have 4 more mixed metaphors.
Only 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Since my last time.
Babe, wake up. New Tannerisms dropped.
Do you have a sting for this?
Sting.
Sting. That's the term for the sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
There's the little intro.
Okay,
find
while,
it.
thing.
while
Wow.
explaining that,
I've never heard that before.
Office
I do.
ladies.
I have one.
Yeah,
I have one.
That's what
All
they
right.
call them on Office Ladies, and they're
Okay.
they're very okay.
That explains why I didn't know.
So we have hold a stone to, which I think is like to throw a stone at, and hold a candle to.
okay.
What was the context that he used
I
that
don't
in?
remember. I don't. Usually when these pop up, I'm not even following his train of thought
Right, you
anymore
just-
anyways. So
I heard something silly. I need to write it down.
I don't want to get the cards before the horse.
Cards.
Cards. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to look at the cards before they're dealt, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse. It was very clever, I thought.
Dude,
great.
to come up with these?
I'm glad that I'm making your face.
You know how hard it
little
was
bit
to
level
red.
come
of
up
thought.
with
I know.
one?
I know.
Right.
That's
It
why
was hard
I
to
have
come
to
up with one.
I
Just
know.
for
My
my
brain
impression.
just
I know.
my brain just
that
does
was
it.
great, though.
That's
That was
okay.
fantastic.
Okay.
was
For real
great.
though, I am not good at much in life. Let me have this.
I feel like some of these need to go on a shirt. Like I would wear
I
a
know.
shirt.
Dude.
Tanner's face
Have you
and
seen
one of
those
these.
videos
Let's
where
do
they show shirts in, I think it's in China or Japan, like in stores, and they just have like random
yeah, that are so
random
bad.
English
Yeah.
words on there. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that would fit in well.
Probably.
Like the
Anyways.
random Chinese tattoos that say dumb stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one-
White
this-
people do dumb stuff.
This one makes almost too much sense. Holding it close to the chest.
I remember we said that.
Technically, playing it close to the vest and holding it. Yeah, I don't know what the other one would be, but yeah, it's
I
pretty.
feel like I've heard both.
You said that one on the
Yes,
the
you
pod.
did,
Yeah,
and
I
I
did.
caught it.
Yeah,
And I
got
caught
it.
it. You actually said it. I think 2 times in an episode or 2 episodes in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you did. You did. And I wasn't there to catch it. It hurt me a little bit. This last one, though, is one of my all-time favorites ever. It was... Okay. Put a bug under your hat. Which is to put a bug in your ear
Yeah.
and keep it under your hat.
Yeah.
You said it. I laughed for like 5 minutes because I thought it was so cute.
But that one almost
There you
makes
go.
sense.
That-
put
yeah,
a
that
bug
one's-
under your
Put a bug under your
that-
hat.
I would use that.
Just put a bug under
It's
your
weird
hat.
that one isn't.
I'm gonna make you think about something, but you need to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
What's kind of fun too is to look at
thinking of
those
an actual
the
bug.
actual sayings and like where they came from because some of them just, you're
Yeah.
like where did that come from
Right.
you know and that's kind of fun. We're
So-
not going to get into that, but
Here's my sound effect for that. Well, apparently not.
Wow.
Oh,
Leave me alone. No, those are
Okay.
I appreciate you.
yeah.
That's-
And,
Sure.
I know. Actually,
Sure.
do.
and Courtney, can I just
do.
tell you? I got to tell you
I
too.
do
Like
love these.
very little. Like gets Tanner red or not
saw
even
that.
get him like rattled. Every time you point one of those out, he is a different person.
I
shuts
appreciate
down
it.
And his confidence
Something
goes out
has
the window.
got
It's
to
so
rattle
good.
his cage once in a while.
It's so good to see him.
Oh, see,
rattle
that was a
little
proper
bit.
metaphor.
I haven't.
And then just rattle his tail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start coming up with.
I was
some
gonna
of
say,
those.
Start
the Phil
practicing.
puns are gone. It's
Yeah.
all Tanner now.
Tanner.
We're good.
That's all right. It's one of those things about me that like I cannot control it. Like I have tried ever since Courtney has started putting them out, or not putting them out, keeping track of them. I have been like more conscious about like not
The
doing
words that you say, that's good.
Shut up. More conscious about like the phrases and stuff like that. I cannot control it. They come out, and in my brain, that's the saying. I say it. And then Courtney's like, what did you just say? And then I'm like, crap, did I do another one? What? Tell me how it's wrong. Tell me how that's not correct. And then she'll break it down and be like, this and this, you combine them. And somehow each individual one would work perfectly.
Yeah.
And
That's
you combine
what's weird
them.
about it.
Yeah.
And then it's still a coherent phrase when it's
Yeah.
put together.
right.
but
and so it's like,
It's just not
if
the
you're
one
not,
that people say.
and so
just-
if you're
it's
not paying
adorable.
attention and you're just listening to me in public or like through a sermon or something, there's a 99% chance that you didn't even catch it because it sounds so, because it's like so good and so close that you're just like, oh yeah, I know that saying. But in reality, it's anyway.
And there's a lot of people that say the saying, like say grain of salt. People will say grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that it's grain,
Grain of salt.
Grain of salt.
Because I've heard that before.
Some very
But that doesn't make sense, number
violent
one.
farmers out there.
Number two,
For all intents and purposes.
you combine,
Yeah.
you combine two things. That's what makes it weird. Like it's not like you're saying a
pretty
word. Like it's weird. that
It
you
is
do that.
weird.
Yeah.
And if somebody out there wants to study what that means, have fun. Because I don't care that much.
I have a
Well, you have hours of Tanner's sermons that you could go back and listen to. I've actually contemplated making like a Tanner bingo card because you do have some phrases that you like say quite frequently. Yeah,
Do it.
I've contemplated doing that and then handing
That's
it out
what I
at
want on a
service.
T-shirt.
Yeah, the Tanner,
The Tanner
bingo
bingo card.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
Tango?
I'm in the process of possibly like I've been looking at figuring out like costs and what it would take to buy a t-shirt press and that kind of stuff. And so I've had a few people say what they would be interested in paying for a Patreon for. And so we very shortly after getting a Patreon, we'll probably buy a t-shirt press and start
Nice.
making
I know a
shirts,
graphic
so.
designer lives right here in town. Help me
know.
drop some designs.
Nice.
Exactly.
That's very true.
That was the longest intro ever, but this is our both 1 year
Yep.
from doing the podcast
Yep.
and our 50th.
50th?
50th. Oh my
It's our
god.
50th.
Do you have the
Our number
50th.
50.
Do you have the sound?
Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't.
Do it. Yeah.
This is our 50th episode combined into one, and Courtney's back.
Yeah, I didn't even know until last night the significance of it. I was like, oh,
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Tanner texted this morning. He's like, "I got mics set up." I'm like, "Were they not before?"
Well, that one wasn't. I did that yesterday.
Yeah, no, I understand now.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that I didn't know she was
gotcha.
going to be on until this morning.
Oh, really?
I was just like, were they not already
yeah, 'cause he-
set up?
'cause
You
he-
didn't text
Oh,
me.
yeah, because
I didn't know
we
until
were
Thursday.
talking about it.
Because we talked
Yeah.
behind Phil's
because
back
there's
last
4
week.
different
Yeah, yeah,
chats now for the podcast.
Well, we just need the one going forward now with all 4 of us. So part of the reason I took you out of the chat was because I didn't want to bug you with it while you were on
Appreciate
break.
that.
And so now that
We
you're
had boy
back,
chat.
Yeah, I saw you use that term last night, and I was like,
girls not allowed.
No girls allowed.
No. Our target.
No.
The boy pod chat.
I say for the last 3 months, our female demographic has been plummeting. So
like
all
legitimately.
two of them, all 2 of them dipped
Legitimately.
out.
Ladies,
And
it's
so-
okay. I'm back.
So now hopefully we will. Now if we can get the lady audience back, man, we might get some episodes full blown.
We need to start like knitting as we do the podcast or something.
That's a very
Crocheting.
stereotype thing to say, ma'am.
You do you, girl. You do you.
Okay, so I wanted to, before we get into the bigger topic of today, I wanted to kind of, and honestly, we've kind of been reflecting on the last year of episodes, we've been kind of doing that just naturally.
Yeah, do you remember?
Just that? With the everything, but
very, thank you very much.
That was a very meaningful gesture that you just like threw your hand towards me. Everything. Yeah. Thank you.
But no, I wanted everybody to kind of think of like, what was your moment where like the most, not even necessarily the most impactful moment, but like, what is your like favorite memory of either listening to or having been on the show? Like what?
Me?
Yeah.
Me first?
No, we can go wherever. We start with Phil, make him go first.
Please don't.
Mike, go first.
Me go first. One of my favorite things was getting to hypnotize Phil. That was
pretty awesome.
That was pretty good.
That was a good time just because it was just, I don't know, we got a lot of fun feedback from that and people talking about like how relaxed they felt and things.
Yeah.
Like it was it was interesting. It was more than just us talking and them listening. Like
right.
You like felt it. Even I felt it when I listened to it. I was like, you just kind of feel what's going on rather than you feel what's going on. The Phil puns have been great too, by the way. And they just don't die. I don't know why they just don't die.
In the Discord was, I can feel it coming. That was good. That was a good one.
Yeah, they just don't.
Anyway,
and it's just all the love for Phil is great
good.
with that. But just a couple of different things like that.
Yeah. It's hard for me to pick like a favorite moment. But honestly, one of my favorite things about this has been, honestly, the conversations and getting to meet our listeners and all of that through the Discord. Like,
agree.
That has been so much fun. And we've literally like in the real world, running into people and stuff like that has been awesome. I was listening to some of the really, really old episodes and kind of going through even just like the intros and stuff like that. My favorite thing has just been seeing how the show is kind of developed over the last year. When you go back to the very first episode, the intro music is so bad. And I thought I was onto something. I was like, we're doing this thing. And going back, I'm like, man, the intro music is so much better now. And then the timing of stuff. But
at the same time, you made our theme song, which was a solid hit.
Which is still solid. Yeah.
It wasn't all misses back then.
Right. It's just
developed.
Well, and it's stacked on itself. We pointed that out too. Is like certain little things just have become part of the regular, intro music.
Right.
There's things that just stick and they're just part of it now,
the Appalachian sounds and the
whispering thing that we did that one time.
With my supposed bobcat sound.
The dire wolf howl.
Yeah.
And then,
isn't there a Phil whistle in there somewhere too? It was in there for the intro songs for a little while.
It was for a little while.
A little whistle laugh was in there for a little bit.
But no, that's not in there anymore. It was like a 3-episode thing. Because it's one of the things like, okay, so if it's making fun of me, I'll leave it forever because I don't care. But when it's like making fun of Phil or Courtney, I can only like stand to do it for a few episodes before I like consciously am like, okay, I need to stop. I'm
unoffendable, so put it back if you want.
I know that you're good.
I
know that you're good, and I still can't bring myself to put it in permanently.
Yeah, it was the same thing like with when we started out with sneaking nicknames for Phil in there, and it, after about 3-4 episodes, I started to feel bad because I was like, I like Phil. I don't want to think you.
right.
And but then it like everybody loved it so much, and it's just kind of it's just kind of.
So last week you just doubled down. You're like, all right,
yeah, we did.
You weren't here, so we couldn't.
No, see your face. That's fine. That's what I get. It's reasonable.
Oh my gosh!
I think my favorite thing has been like the aha moments. Like when you finally like when something clicks and you're just like, wait a minute, these two separate things that we've been talking about might actually like link together, and it's like puzzle pieces fitting. You're like, oh, dude, like those moments.
You know what I've missed about Courtney being on the show, and this is the first time we've been on the show together.
Yeah, it is.
But something I miss about those old episodes is Courtney's gasp. When she's yes, that is my favorite, and like anybody who's listened while I'm listening,
you can almost hear the light bulb ding.
I love it. I love the Courtney gasp when she gets thrown some information she didn't know. I love that.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
But to what Phil's saying, it's crazy how much of what we've talked about intersects in like even like the weird, like how Bigfoot can somehow, there is a line between Bigfoot and like the stuff we talked about like last week. You know, somehow there is a straight line.
There's a thread that connects all of it.
And the amount of stuff that like when you start to unravel it and maybe it's just my brain making, because it's called matrixing, when your brain tries to make sense of randomness, and so you see faces like in clouds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it could just be matrixing and our brains are just forcing it to try to find a thread, but it really feels like.
But even with that, like when we get a topic and I decide to start digging, it is crazy how many other things that you guys have already talked about pop up.
Yeah.
And I'm not even looking for those things. They just happen to pop up as part of that context. You know, that's just crazy to me. Yeah.
All right, Courtney, what about you?
As a co-host, probably one of the favorite things that I've talked about is the crazy cat lady cult.
Oh yeah.
I love just throwing that out there and just like, I remember the silence as I was talking about it and stumping you guys on it. Basically, I knew you just
my abs hurt after that episode. That was hilarious.
Did not see that coming. I didn't
not
either.
At all.
I can't believe I found that. But
and that cult
was great.
still exists. They moved.
Yeah,
they moved
as
from Tennessee to Carolina or something like that. Allegedly,
yeah. Cults are good at rebranding, aren't they? But
they are.
There was a good outtake between you and me, and I think you remember, Tanner. It was the one night, and I think it was Phil's birthday, and so he ended up having other plans. But you and I recorded together, and it was at like 11:30 at night.
Yeah,
and I had a pretty. I accidentally said something inappropriate.
And I had to edit out.
And we took it out. Never mentioned it again at my request. But that was pretty great. Also, as a listener, hearing you guys the progress when you called out the Pentagon Pizza Index, and then within the week it was confirmed, was nuts from a listener side. Just being able to like pick up on that and be like, oh my gosh, this was something that I thought was a little bit kooky. Yeah. But my goodness, did it deliver?
Right.
Ha, ha, there we go.
The puns.
That was not intentional. I actually caught it on myself that time, but.
Oh man.
But no, just a lot of things. Also hearing our son, just his passion for it. He wants to be included in the podcast so much. He has his own ideas of like his own interpretation of what sound effects belong in the podcast, because he hears us listen to it in the car. He knows that you guys come downstairs and now me again too. Down this time. And and he hears the big laughs. He hears the ow at the beginning. Like I don't know. He loves it, and it's kind of a part of who he is now too. So
we let him listen to the intro from the week that his voice was on it. He was like, so he recognized it was his voice, and and then he kept that whole week. He kept just going, no. Like everything we would say, he would just no, and then bust up laughing like, buddy.
That'll be fun to watch him grow up on the. As the pod continues, because eventually we need a little guest.
I was going to say eventually he'll be on the show. Yeah,
can you imagine a little short, and then we'll just get him on all the time.
Can you imagine growing up with that, like your voice being on the internet, like before you were even like old just enough to really understand what that meant?
Right.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
What a positive footprint, though. You think about the digital footprint that kids are leaving behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like what a cool way to leave.
It's just something I hadn't really thought about before. Right. Like that, like once you are on the internet, you're out there. And like that wasn't something that was a thing until I was thinking about that over the last couple of days. Not to like derail things too much, but
good.
That's what we do.
But just thinking about like the progression of social media, and like I had the thought the other day, I was like, when did the world get weird? And my first thought was 2019, 2020, because that was like the big thing that really like threw things totally off the rails. But 2016 was pretty weird. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I think it was a progression from about 2005-ish onwards, because that's when YouTube became a thing. Yeah. And Facebook was starting to really pick up around that time. And that was kind of the initiation of like, we are about to be connected globally in a way that we never had been before.
Yeah.
And that was like when people started, like things started getting weird. Early YouTube and Facebook was still pretty like localized. Like a viral YouTube video was like what, a few thousand views. That was considered viral. And then like there was a point where it kind of spiked and everyone was there.
Do you think it got weird, or do you think the world was already weird? We just had access to it.
For sure.
Both.
But like,
I actually think both, because I
do think both.
I think we were weird.
It compounded itself.
Combo.
But then now people are weird on purpose to try
Well,
to
that's how you get. Being a music person, I have 2 degrees in music, and I talked to the kids about being musicians and stuff when I was teaching music. And we talked about when I was young, if you wanted to be a musician, you created a mixtape of some kind of recording, and then you had to get it to the producers somehow, whether that's at a concert or going to the studio, being able to get in and get them access. Now you just make a dumb YouTube video and you get enough likes, somebody's going to sign you. You don't have to be a musician.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
There's the AI.
professionalism
Yeah.
anymore.
Did you see the that one dude that made the song I'm on the Lexapro? You remember that? No, you don't remember? You really don't remember that? I
don't.
That dude? Okay,
No.
I know I sent it to you. It's been like a year and a half probably since that came out. He just made a silly friggin' song. He is touring now.
Everyone's touring.
And that's the thing, right?
Everyone's
Like,
got a class of like,
Do you remember the
here's
shiz?
my roadmap to success. Oh my
Yeah. Do you remember the shiz like went crazy viral?
Yeah.
Let's get some shoes, and then it turned into a song, and then
Yeah.
I actually just said shoes.
that person
earlier
is.
in this
Did you?
episode. Yeah,
That person who created that is now touring and just singing that song. And like, that's all they're doing. And people are paying money to go hear this dude.
It's insane. Yeah. Like the standard for getting famous and like having that recognition and having the money and everything that comes with it is so low now, because everybody doesn't have to agree. Just enough people have to agree that you're cool and you're worth
find your
making note of.
Okay. But nowadays, though, the algorithms control it so much that conspiracy theory time.
I got one for you too.
I'm starting to honestly think that the people who are becoming famous are chosen now.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm, they've reined in the algorithm enough that it seems like these people that are getting famous, and you start digging into like who their family is, and their family is like CIA agents or like or in the government or something like that. You're like, what are the odds that someone whose dad works at the Pentagon went viral for singing a random song on YouTube? You know what I mean? Like the odds, but more and more of them, it seems like as time goes on, more and more of these people that go viral and then they're like sustained famous have this kind of history.
Yeah.
Like it's weird.
So back in the 60s, 70s, even 80s and 90s, like the charts, the top 10 charts were based on record sales. They were based on how many people were buying cassettes, how many people were buying records and CDs. Yep. That's what it is based on. Now it is 100% based on number of likes on social media.
Yeah.
So if I put out a TikTok video and it gets millions of likes, that song all of a sudden is on the radio, even if it wasn't meant for that. That song gets created and is put on the radio, and those people get signed. You know, it's completely controlled by the algorithms. Because if there's good music out there and it doesn't play, nobody hears it, and it doesn't get the likes, and it doesn't top the charts. We're not buying music anymore, so like we used to.
And going back to the dead internet theory, how much of the internet is just bots?
Yeah.
And so if they decided, hey, this post is going to go viral, and they swarm the bots on that post, it'll go viral.
Right.
Whether or not the platform wants it to or not. And the platform can decide on a whim. That's that post that I had that went viral on TikTok has 2.5 million views or whatever on it.
Yeah,
it's so viral.
That was right when our son was born.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on since that big
that's true.
surge.
But that's true, yeah. Because right after that, and it was so hard for me to even keep momentum because I took 2 weeks off basically.
Yeah, we were just in the
just
NICU.
went dark for 2 weeks. And the way to continue getting stuff to go viral is to continue posting. And it's like, it's crazy. Like just the little nuances that go in with like having a platform and keeping it viral and stuff like that. And then I'll have other content that like, there was that one that I posted that got shadow banned right off the bat, got less than 10 likes, even though I sent it to like 15 people. All 15 people said that they watched it and it only got like 2 views. I was like, they're even just making up numbers now too. So if the platform decided they wanted this person to go famous, they don't even have to actually make them go famous. They can just artificially
Just tweak the numbers.
Say that they went famous.
set that it had 500 million likes, and then now all of a sudden it's on the radio.
Yeah, that's a Beth and I had the conversation listening to the radio the other day, and this song came on. I can't even remember what song it was, but it came on. I was like, this song is absolute garbage. This is absolutely terrible.
Every time we're in the weight room.
Who is listening to this?
Absolutely.
Who is downloading this?
Yeah.
Who has this on their playlist?
How many,
You this
how many
is
times have we
awful.
said that?
Yeah.
Like that exact thing when we're in the
Yeah.
weight room is just like, who?
And that's
Who
what
listens?
it is.
Decided
It's
that this
not
should
that people are listening to it or downloading it. It's that the algorithms are shoving that one to the top, and so that's what gets played on the rotation.
Algorithms, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's because people have caught on to like the Disney stars as kids and then growing up and turning them
Right.
into huge superstars and all the controversy and scandal that goes on with that too.
Well, and
people
that's
caught on to that, so we got to switch it up. We got to make it.
The more and more I see of fame, the less and or even just wealth, the less and less that I want that. Like seeing the way that like the wealthy even just like act. Bro, you're so out of touch with what reality looks like for the other 99%.
Yeah.
You just, I don't want that. Now I want more money so that I can do more things, but I don't know if I would ever want to be,
Rich.
a billionaire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it. But so speaking of things that don't make sense with the random songs that don't make sense, did you guys see that they are putting padlocks on energy drinks in the UK?
Like on the individual drinks?
The
I thought they
cans.
didn't have any crime over there because they weren't allowed to have guns.
Where'd my phone go?
Violent crimes.
Oh.
Although I would get violent if I went to open my energy
have a
drink
lot of,
and it's got a padlock on it.
they have a lot of
What does that look like?
I'll pull it up and I'll post it in the Discord too.
Wait a minute.
knife crime.
Pause, time out. Hold, wait. Are we talking padlocks on the energy drinks themselves or on like the coolers that have them in them?
No, on the actual energy drinks.
Okay.
It is wild.
Sorry, my brain did not
crazy.
go there because that
wild.
doesn't make any sense.
What is the purpose? Like
How?
people cracking them in the store and drinking them and stealing them that way, or like what is the purpose? Of it?
I'm trying to
Makes
find.
sense. Brits don't know how to shotgun a friggin'.
Because here's what I'm picturing. So years and years ago, we went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And we used to show sheep and stuff. We went down there for this national camp for Tanner. And we're in Oklahoma, and we went to buy ice at the grocery store and the liquor store. So we stop at this liquor store to buy some gas, or not gas, buy some ice. I'm trying to look at the picture and do the same.
What?
Okay, time out.
Show it to me last.
What am
Thank
I-
you.
That is weird.
Show it to
so
me.
we go to buy some ice.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any ice.
Oh my gosh.
And all their
that
drinks were warm. The coolers were turned off. And I said, why is that? And they said, because people will come in the store if your drinks are cold and they'll crack them open in the store and try to drink them in the store and not pay for them. And this was in Oklahoma. So in Oklahoma, they made a state statute that liquor stores couldn't have coolers turned on or ice. They couldn't sell ice. So we had to go look around town.
That sounds
and
like a
find an
Wisconsin problem.
an ice dealer in town. Yeah.
You know, Wisconsin has the highest alcoholism rate
No.
in the U.S. by a lot.
Wow.
Do they?
Wisconsin is intoxicated constantly.
Think about what's in Wisconsin.
No, I'm not trying to judge. I'm just
I was
saying
gonna say, name one thing that is in Wisconsin.
the Dells. That's it. That's the only thing.
I was
That's
gonna
the only
say,
thing I know of.
Dells is fun. I've been there.
I haven't
Yeah,
been there,
that's
but
it.
I know it's
That
there.
is it.
Lots of forest up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakes. A lot of lakes.
You got cheese.
Cheese. Cheese. Wow.
Sorry. I was trying to do the James May meme.
Also,
ringing.
speaking
Hear
of
it.
episodes and stuff,
Sorry.
one of the my goodness. One of the other updates that we needed to do was the Red Heifer update. Have you guys been? The Discord has been popping with this. So originally, what they reported was that they had on July 1st practiced a ceremony and used a disqualified red heifer. So I'm more and more of this keeps coming out.
What?
So basically what happened was they knew that the government in Israel would not allow them to do a real ceremony. So they lied to the government and said, this is a disqualified heifer. We just want to practice what it would look like for someday when we might be able to do that. And the Israeli government was like, okay, yeah, go for it. Then in secret, they didn't tell anybody. They took one of the two currently qualified heifers in Israel and they don't like the word sacrifice, performed the ceremony on it. And it was actually a perfect red heifer. They used a clean priest and did it outside the camp, and they followed the Torah identically. And so it was a official sacrifice. They then took all of the ashes and distributed them to 10,000 different sources so that the government cannot come in and confiscate all of the ashes, and that there is no way that any party, so no government, no outside force, no organization that happens to be to the southwest could infiltrate and take away these ashes. And in each of those 10,000 baggies, there is enough for 1,000 cleansing ceremonies. So they could perform like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of cleansing ceremonies using these ashes. So that is why now all of a sudden after July 1st, we started seeing a ton of Jews praying at the Temple Mount. Oh. Prior to that, the Jews wouldn't even attempt to, because in their belief, they could not approach the Temple Mount without having been cleansed. All of a sudden, we see this massive influx of thousands of Jews praying at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And we were like, why? If you're still unclean, why would you be doing this? Because under what we understood on July 1st was that the red heifer was not clean. It wasn't a perfect sacrifice. So all of a sudden, all of these sources now have these cleansing ashes, and they can get cleansed, and then they can then go to the Temple Mount to pray. And so that is why we're seeing. So, and then on top of that, they are also starting to install signs to the new third temple on the Temple Mount on the roads. So like there's directions going up that direct you to the new temple going up. There is actual construction going on, and supposedly what they're doing is they're installing an elevator to make it handicap accessible. Okay, so
why did I just
here's
picture
the
the elevator being for the cows?
No.
A calivator.
So
I was trying to come up with something like that, but I was going for something a little. I thought of that, and I was like, "No, it's not good enough."
Got the heifervator. Bring the cowlets upstairs to
oh my gosh,
do the thing.
Okay. So, oh my gosh.
We can't take anything serious around here.
Not a chance. Right. Okay, so they've got the signs up, they've got the construction going on. So if they lied about the perfect heifer, and then the Temple Institute is putting out stuff saying that there was no real sacrifice. It was all fake. It doesn't count. All this other stuff. They're calling it disqualified. Okay, so basically, and then they're posting pictures that say like it is time.
Yeah,
and
with
then
a clock on it.
With a clock, and then they have pictures of like the cleansing ceremony, and then the third temple is ready to be built. They're like posting this stuff of like it is now, like it is time. So I think that because they're just like they're willing to do anything it takes to get this stuff built, I think that they're just lying about what they're building and what they're doing. And the reality is they're actually starting construction on the temple. Like they're doing this stuff.
Underground synagogue stuff.
And they're pretending it's something different so that there's less backlash. And then once it's done, they'll be like, surprise. And by that point, they'll be ready to face whatever opposition. But because it's already built, they're not going to send missiles at the Dome of the Rock. Like they're not going to try to bomb, like they're not going to send missiles at it or anything because they don't want to destroy the other part of it. And if they do, they'll just build another temple. On the destruction of it.
Well, there's
and so,
multiple different religions that all meet together in that hub, so you wouldn't just be
they're not, and with what they're building it kind of off to the edge of where because it'll be like where the actual temple was is not centered over where the Muslim stuff is. It's just like an open court basically, and so they could build this thing and it still be within the constructs of the Temple Mount and not have to destroy the other stuff. They can actually build it alongside of. And so I'm thinking they're just going to do it and be like, see, it wasn't that big of a deal. Look it. All right. It's already done. We're already done with it. Don't worry about it.
You're saying there's an organization out there that lies about what they're doing in order to get things done the way they want to get them done without anybody messing with them?
You can't do that.
I'm just saying.
That's insane.
I'm just saying a Mossad agent owned the organization or owned the number one publisher of textbooks in America. Just saying. Oh my gosh.
I know.
There was a party going
they could
on.
Probably, they could probably hear our kid going crazy.
More fun upstairs than we are down here, for sure.
That sounds good. but yeah. And so, Red Heifer update. It was actually a clean heifer.
Okay. Well, I mean, I want to ask your sources on that because obviously, like you said, the Temple Institute is denying all of this. But
Byron Stinson, he's the actual owner of the cows.
Okay, so this is all from the owner.
The source is the guy.
Yeah.
His actual posts. And he straight up came out, and I posted what he said in the Discord. So if you're curious, you can go find it, or I could post it again. Mm-hmm. But he
I already saw you say it like 4 different times in the Discord. Yeah. I did see that.
But so this guy is the actual, like, he is the most, like, guaranteed this guy's going to have the correct information.
Yeah.
Nobody else would have the correct information necessarily, but he for sure would. And so it's coming from him.
But multiple sources is also.
But multiple sources have confirmed this.
Preferable.
And also, there's been some podcasts of people who have gotten a hold of, they were sent some of the ashes because they're
people?
Not the podcast people. Podcasts have had people on
who
have been sent and literally are
I was like, how do we sign up for that? No.
Holding up their bag of ashes and be like, this is Red Heifer ashes.
Because that's my thing.
Literally, it's like it's everywhere now. Everybody is starting to confirm it.
I had heard you talking about before coming on that they did a practice ceremony. I did not know that they claimed it was a disqualified calf, though.
They claimed it to the government. Because instantly,
as a reader of the Bible, including the Old Testament, I do not recall there ever being practice ceremonies. And whenever an offering was made of not not a pure, spotless animal, it was considered an abomination to God, regardless the intent. So why would they risk that for a practice ceremony?
But remember when we talked a few weeks ago.
And I know there's a lot more Jewish scripture that we don't include in the Bible. So I don't know where their beliefs have gone since then, or like addition to that. But from what I've read in the Old Testament, I do not recall like, oh, we're just gonna because part of the sacrifice is like you give God your best. You always give your best. And so if you're like, it's just one of these disqualified animals, God considers that an abomination.
Right. To be fair, we threw this idea out when we first learned about it. We threw the idea, what if they are calling this a practice because they don't want anybody stepping on their toes? And so they're calling it a practice, but they're actually doing the real thing. They did. We called that several weeks ago when we...
Yeah,
I was prepared to roll my eyes over this, but then you said that it was a disqualified one, but they still did the practice and that's the official. And I'm like, Yeah, I don't know.
Do we sound cynical or just... Or like smart or cynical? Do we like
no?
Because we just believe we assume that everyone's lying or house.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just we're observers.
Yeah. I would say I think
we can't do anything about it. We just observe and point things out. Really, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I'm just curious. Once again, I'm not like a scholar in.
That's a good point, though.
Jewish law.
Good point.
Like, but that's just
trying to
what
follow Jewish law.
That's just what I've seen. So
the hardest aspect of Jewish law is actually something that Jesus was hypercritical of when he was on the earth. because he condemned the Pharisees for putting verbal law above the written law. Mm-hmm. Well, for those who didn't believe Jesus was their Messiah, that tradition continued, and still to this day, there is verbal commandments that they have that go far and above anything that was written as the law back then. And so the part of the conflict that's going on is that there is a subsect of Jews that believe that the sacrifice has to take place on the Temple Mount.
Right.
But that was not written in the Torah. Mm-hmm. It just had to take place outside of the camp. Mm. And so, but this other sect of Judaism, which is, I think, the larger sect, just believes that what was written is what's required. Mm-hmm. And some people even, and like the debates between even just the different beliefs of the Jews are clashing at this point. And so there's some saying that, it doesn't count because it wasn't qualified and blah, blah, blah. But that was, what was curious to me was the Temple Institute came out and they were like, oh, no more red heifers are qualified. And they were like, wait, but we had 2. You went from 2, it should have gone 2 to 1 and then 0. And I was like, how did it go 2 to 0? And then I was like, oh, they had to have burned the real thing. They had to have. Mm-hmm. And then about a week later is when Byron came out and was like, Byron came out and was like, yep, it was real. You caught us. Shucks. Yeah. You know, like I don't think they were ready to come out with that. But then the Temple Institute tried to like undermine it. But then the Temple Institute was also saying like, it's time. It's so confusing. Mm-hmm. It is so confusing. And it's so deceptive. There's a lot to it. It's so deceptive. But I think that they're purposely being deceptive in order to avoid, because I mean, even like
all war is deception.
I mean, they don't.
Amen.
Even the bringing in the 5 heifers to begin with, they couldn't bring them in as ceremonial livestock. Mm-hmm. They got disallowed, so they had to bring them in as pets. So they even had to lie about the reason why they brought them into the country. So they were pets, and they only allowed. So there was actually 24 perfect red heifers. They then selected the top 7 and tried to bring them in the country as ceremonial livestock. They were denied. They said, we want to bring them in as pets. And the government was like, you can only have 5 as pets. And so then they brought in 5 as pets. So there's technically still possibly another 19 that are in America that they then put them into a breeding program. Yeah. And so their offspring are going to be coming of age now too. And so it's possible, even if that one, quote unquote, didn't count, it's not like they're just gone. They were selectively kept as a breeding program too. And so there's possibly
once again
a lot more.
I'm just astounded because you talk to me about this stuff a lot, even off air. I'm astounded how much information on this you can hold. Because
I have a weird brain.
That's a lot. I know this. I know this about you.
There's
nobody knows it better than her.
It's so dumb. I can tell you, this is a weird fun fact. I can tell you every hotel we've ever stayed in, what city it was in.
Legitimately, we've had conversations.
Yeah. I can tell you exactly what the hotel looked like, why we were in that place. I can tell you all of that. But you tell me your name to my face, I will try as hard as I can to remember it. And 5 seconds later, I've already forgot it. Mm-hmm. So stupid. My brain.
Gas stations too. Wherever we stop when we travel.
And faces. Mm-hmm. I will never forget a face. Mm-hmm. And people say like, oh, I never forget. I mean, I literally do not forget faces. I will see a face and be like, I know you. Where do I know you from? And sometimes it'll take me a minute. Sometimes it'll take me like 10 seconds. But I will remember where I know that person from. And it could have just been I randomly saw them at a mall in Rapid City. And I will be like, oh yeah, I don't know why I thought I knew that person. Anyway,
with those three categories of things, I think I just realized I've been like unintentionally slacking on remembering that kind of stuff because I'm like, oh, Tanner just remembers. He'll remember. Yeah, I just have to ask him.
Yeah.
So, where's a good gas station to stop here? Oh, Tanner knows. Anyways.
Yeah. So,
so that's nuts.
Yeah. So what do you like? They're very, very realistically, the third temple could be being built, and it's crazy. And okay.
And for me, let me just say, for me, because you talk to me about red heifers all the time, and if I'm being honest, I could care less about red heifers. And you get so excited about it. I let you, because you're my brother, I let you talk. But like, it doesn't affect me at all because I don't know that I believe that in the ceremonial stuff anyway. So I'm like, you know,
right.
But I get why it's a passionate thing. But
well, it's, I mean,
for me,
I
I'm just
think
like,
it's significant because
a cow.
Well, the biggest significance to me is that they have been looking for a perfect red heifer since the Second Temple, and it has almost been 2,000 years, and they have been unsuccessful.
Right, and I've talked to you about this too before. Like, if somebody is fighting against you and you are looking for a red heifer, and I know that you're looking for a red heifer to undermine whatever I have going on, I'm going to make sure there's no red heifers. You know what I mean? I'm going to do everything I can to make sure there is no such thing as a red heifer. You know, and so my theory is, like, on the opposite side of things, it took one guy recreating that angle to bring it back in because they were so, they were looking for, I mean, obviously they were looking, you're passionate about it and you're not even part of that organization in that government, you know what I mean? And so it would take somebody saying, we don't want this to happen. So let's make sure there's no red heifers.
Well, but okay.
For 2,000 years.
To kind of push back a little bit, think about prior to 1940, the Jewish people were everywhere in the world.
Right.
And they were doing breeding programs specifically trying to create, because according to Jews, like, they can't build the third temple until they have this.
Right.
Their entire belief system on the temple hinges on this one person, this one thing.
Right.
So for 2,000 years, they have been all over and have actively been trying to breed perfect red heifers.
There's a question.
And they still couldn't, couldn't successfully do it.
Not so much.
They still couldn't successfully do it until just all of a sudden recently, and all of a sudden magically, we found 24 of them by a dude who was like, yeah, it would be kind of cool. Who's a Christian who doesn't even believe that he needs it. And is just like, it'd be kind of cool if let's breed red heifers. Let's see what happens.
Well, and I think regardless of
odds of that are
of whether you believe in it being a divine thing or anything to do with supernatural or a real God, you got to acknowledge the fact that religion has played a massive role in a whole heck of a lot of historical world events. And I would contend that this is probably the most significant change in any of the big five world religions in the last 2,000 years. This is like probably the most significant thing that's happened since Jesus.
It feels like it's a very high-end organizational thing. It doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? Like, I know several Jewish people. I have several Jewish friends. I've never heard any of them talk. You're the first person I've ever met who talked about red heifers. I've never met anybody else in any other religion talking about red heifers until you came along and started talking about it. So I don't know that even within the Jewish faith, I don't think that's something that's pushed, at least not here in America, that's pushed as a priority. It's maybe it's like high government thing, high end. It'd be like if you were Catholic, you know, trying to keep up with all the things that are going on, over in the Vatican. Like, they don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well, let me push back.
I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm kind of.
Let me push back on that a little bit and think about, like, okay, me being a pastor, my biblical knowledge compared to Phil and his biblical knowledge. Right. Or compared to somebody, off the street who is raised Catholic, who they were raised Catholic and they had the biblical, whatever biblical knowledge.
Yeah.
So as a pastor, think about how much more I have because of how much I study it.
Right.
So you're interacting with people who are Jewish, but you're not necessarily interacting with Jewish rabbis or Jewish.
And that's what I'm saying. What percentage of your faith is leadership? You know what I'm saying? That percentage would be knowledgeable of this stuff. The rest of them wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
I
also think it's a lot more nuanced too, because with the Jewish people, they're a people too. It's an ethnicity. It's a culture. Yes,
it's more than just
some
a
of them, they can be Jewish, but and identify as Jewish, but you don't see any other evidence of them actually practicing the faith behind it. Yeah, there's so much nuance to it that I don't pretend to understand it fully, but that's just kind of some of the gray area that I think I just don't know that much on.
Tanner's deep dived in it, so I think to you it feels like to you that this is like a worldwide, like everybody knows about this thing, and I don't know that there's that many people that know other than people that have talked to you and, you know, a few others that follow it.
Just the crazy conspiracy.
So I would say people who study end time theology,
yes,
all of them know about the red heifer. Because and not because, okay, so the Bible doesn't lay out once the red heifer has been sacrificed. But so if you believe that there has to be a third temple built, you have to then believe that a perfect red heifer will be sacrificed, because the third temple cannot be used until there is a perfect red heifer.
Right, and I get that. I understand.
And so the Jews have been trying to, because their faith, and there are some sects that have moved on from that aspect of Judaism because they have been unsuccessfully able to build it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But people who believe traditional Judaism, them having a temple is one of the most important things of their faith. And they don't have one, and they haven't had one for 2,000 years. Mm-hmm. And so, but also, when you go without something for 2,000 years, you probably start to think, well, maybe God just doesn't want us to have this.
Right.
But it still was so essential that, okay, so think about this. It was such a significant event that the October
6th?
The October 6th attack, do you remember when Hamas went in, killed thousands of Jews?
Right.
The reason they went in was because they brought the red heifers over to Jerusalem. So even Muslims knew the significance of this red heifer. So it's not like, oh, just this random, random Christians or random Jews know about it. Like, no, Muslims, like, so, okay, fun fact. The reason why January 6th was as successful as it was because it wasn't supposed to happen October 6th. It's because it wasn't supposed to happen until a few days later, because
I got another string for you.
All of the governments were actually working together. So the Hezbollah and Iran and all of these governments, they were all going to attack at the same time. When Israel brought the red heifers over, they were all going to attack at the same time, and they were going to try to kill the red heifers. And Hamas jumped the gun and went early. And that was the reason, was because the intel and everything was saying, okay, it's going to happen on the 7th or 8th. And it's like, we had stuff like available, and it was like near there, but we weren't able to defend against it because the intel was that it was going to be a joint attack a few days later. And then Hamas jumped the gun. And I guess the other countries were so mad at Hamas for jumping the gun, because what ended up happening was they couldn't find the red heifers, and they were able to successly sacrifice
Thanos
them.
moment.
And so they jumped the gun and ruined the whole operation. But the argument then goes, well, if they had done it the correct way, U.S. probably would have intervened, and they probably still wouldn't have been able to, or whatever. But you can make that argument. But come to find out, all these other governments were mad at Hamas because they jumped the gun and attacked early.
What's the source on this?
The actual religious leaders of these countries.
Okay, I got another string for you.
And Hamas is the ones the leader of Hamas straight up said, "We did this because you brought."
I've got another string for you.
Go for it. She asked the question.
Are you ready for it?
I did.
So we've talked a lot of times, and we've come up with our own theory that the CIA and all those organizations, all those secret organizations, are actually one organization that have controlled the world for hundreds and hundreds of years. They've controlled the governments. They've controlled the decisions. What if that organization is the ones dictating on what information we're getting about the red? If they can control the Chiquita banana sales and governments and things like that,
what
you're telling me they can't control? They can't control a religious, progression, as you know what I'm saying? Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So that's a string.
That was
I
another
was
question
thinking,
I had though. Like, are they enough? Like, are there any circumstances where they've purposefully been keeping perfect spotless red heifers and they just haven't done the sacrifice, and they were waiting for a politically convenient or inconvenient time to bring this forward,
So I remembered I want to say the 90s, I remember news stories of that they had found some, what they suspected to be perfect red heifers.
You remember back in the 90s, or you found it?
I remember.
Okay, you haven't been following this your whole life.
I remember.
Yeah.
No, I remember in the news, it was actually a really big deal. I remember this, and before I was even a Christian, I remember this. And they had sent, I want to say it was 7, and somebody can fact check me, that they had sent 7, they were trying to send 7 heifers over to Israel because they were perfect without blemish. And they had just like, before they even arrived, were already deemed not perfect anymore. It was like, it wasn't like this long drawn out 2-year process. We're trying to, it was like right off the bat, they became not perfect anymore. And I don't remember the reason, but I remember the significance of it popping up in the news that they were sending 7 heifers over.
Have you researched if Cowie McHefferton or whatever his name is that raises these red heifers?
Byron.
Byron.
Cowie McHefferton.
Have you researched to see if Byron has any CIA ties?
I haven't. He's a Christian guy. His ties, the significance with his family is that, if you remember me telling the story originally with the red heifers of the craziness that involved in it, that the last perfect red heifer was a people who own diamonds, and they were actually trying to sell because there's more than just the red heifer that's needed, but it just happens to be the hardest thing to get. And so they went to them to buy the perfect diamond or whatever, and they ended up saying and then the prophets ended up prophesying over the family, saying the next perfect red heifer will come from your family, and then sure enough it did. The Byron, this family, they're actually most notably known for jewelry, and the heifers were a project they decided to get into, raising cattle, and so they were actually diamond jewelers in the same way, but then they decided to get into the cattle industry. And
that's interesting. Did they get into the cattle industry? Was that? I wonder if that was something in the back of their head, or if that was that self-fulfilling prophecy. Somebody told you you're supposed to do it, so they did it.
Well, so
I don't know.
They originally got into the red heifer, or got into selling cattle as a profit, and they were like, "What kind of cattle should we sell?"
PROFIT, not PROPHET.
Yeah, to make money. They got into it to make money, and when they decided what they would make, Byron actually said, "I had the thought it would be kind of cool if we did red heifers, and maybe for maybe the perfect red heifer will come from our crop." They started raising them, but the problem with the cattle industry is that when they're born, you brand them and you tag them. And so they, for 20 years or whatever, they brand and tag their cattle to sell. COVID hits, and because of COVID, they couldn't get people to come out, and there was the restrictions and stuff. Right. So one single generation of cows didn't get tagged and branded. Those perfect heifers happened to come from the COVID year. Those perfect heifers happened to come during the COVID years, and Byron's crop wasn't originally the crop that they were in America to look at. There was another Christian organization that had red heifers, and the Jewish leaders were coming over to look at their stuff. And last second, while the Jewish leaders were in on the flights over to America, that family was like, actually, we've been studying this a little bit more, and we feel kind of weird because really, by providing the perfect red heifer, we're actually providing the Antichrist a means of coming to power. And so they backed out, and they were like, we actually don't want this. So one of the guys who was organizing it, there was like 4 or 5 of them. One of their friends was like with them and was like, hey, I actually know this guy. His name's Byron. He actually has a crop, and they have some because of COVID that didn't get bagged and tagged. We could just fly them to his crop and see if they have any there, see if any of those qualify. And so they called them. And so literally while they're in the plane, they rerouted and decided to go to this place. So they set it all up with Byron for them to come and look at Byron's crop.
So my good friend Phil over here has a saying that he likes to say, that when you have stacked consequences. Now I'm paraphrasing, but when you have stacked consequence, or not what's the word I'm looking for?
Coincidence.
That's the one.
Coincidences.
Stacked coincidences. It's no longer coincidences.
I agree, but I think me and you are differing on the source of those coincidences. Because my thought process goes more to this was allowed or ordained to happen by God. And for the last 2,000 years, he has not allowed either a perfect red heifer to exist, or he has blinded the eyes of the Jews in order to find the red heifer.
See, and you and I, we differ, but we're the same in the way we look at things like that, because you look at it as God ordaining this and making this happen. I look at it as God ordaining and allowing the humans to be set up to do these things. That's the way I look at it. So it's similar but different.
I'm saying that, like, okay, yeah, because
You're saying direct influence versus indirect
and
influence.
I'm saying indirect influence. Yeah.
I'm not even necessarily saying direct influence. I'm saying that, like, for the last 2,000 years, God did directly prevent it from happening.
Right.
But we could be at an age where God has lifted that to allow it to happen. And
that's what I'm saying too. Because I'm just saying he's doing it through human means,
right? And he's always done that,
right?
And even with in the Old Testament,
and just said, okay, Israelites, or okay,
right?
You guys, you just want to do your own thing. I'm going to let you do your own thing.
So we're actually saying the same thing, Mike, because like even within the Israelites, like when Babylon came and conquered them and dispersed them, God didn't send the Babylonians. God allowed the Babylonians to take them over, and God even said the Babylonians will have their own consequences for what they have done to you.
Right.
But I am allowing them to come and take over and disperse because you have been disobedient. You have not been paying attention. And so God allowed the humans to come. But prior to that, anytime any attacks, when they were faithful to God and they were paying attention, God would prevent the attacks. And like when the Jews took out the Canaanites were giants. They were far superior warriors. Think about the walls of Jericho. Have you ever looked at the walls of Jericho? Yep. It's like 7 feet wide of mortar and concrete. And
also, I have to point out, Courtney will agree with me 100%. I can tell. Red heifer updates turn into full blown red heifer conversations.
Oh, dude.
It's hard not to, yeah.
So, if you listen closely, about 10 minutes ago, I whispered to Courtney through the microphone. I said, "We're not talking about aliens today."
But it's interesting though, because
No, it's fine. I'm good with that.
Your talking points are the same of what you've said on the podcast before, but you're giving information that at least I don't remember, but I don't know if you ever even provided. And so there's just details that you remember, like, and I'm like,
there's kind of a lot to it. There's a lot to talk about.
And even that with Phil, there's a lot of times on this show where we take a tangent, and by the time we get done, we totally didn't even talk about what we planned on talking about, which is fine.
It don't bother me.
The Red Heifer update came after we had decided aliens, I think. And so I put it in here after the fact.
We had decided aliens.
I got a cool alien theory,
but
I will save it though.
Okay.
It might it might actually be relevant, but I'm going to save it because it's a good one. You've heard my theory, but I don't think Courtney's heard my theory.
But so the kind of back to what we were talking about, I believe that God does things through the natural because the world is his creation.
Right.
And as like I think about this, if God is truly God, he's actually God, not just what humans have said God is. If he is actually God, he will be able to successfully interweave everything together.
Right.
And so let's say the walls of Jericho, I believe that back then, I think they had a deeper understanding of sound and what sound was capable of. Have you ever seen the thing with where they put sand on a speaker on a flat plate?
Have you ever seen
play the different
Caleb's senior science project?
No.
Oh, I'll show you a video. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It deals with sound, and he created a plasma with the sound, and it reacts to the sound. The plasma reacts to the sound. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, sound is very interesting. You can do a lot of things with sound.
Well, when you go back and you look at some of the like hieroglyphics and petroglyphics and stuff like that, and you look in Egypt and just ancient cultures, they're starting to realize now that some of they'll have like a picture of the sun, but the imprint, the design of the sun is actually one of those sound things.
Oh.
And they've actually been able to successfully lift rocks using sound. And I was thinking more about it. And I was like, okay, so think about like magnetism.
Yeah.
So imagine you are 2,000 years or 4,000 years ago, and you come across a magnet, like a magnetic rock. And all of a sudden it's like the rock pushes it off. And it's like, what is pushing it off?
Yeah.
So your natural instinct is, okay, I'm going to start figuring out the properties of this and sound. And so I think that a combination of giants and sound is how they built the pyramids.
I did see a theory about that they found the right frequencies and things that make, and we just don't understand it at this point.
We can't grasp it.
Built these pyramids with
so
wow, my brain's broken.
But so say God, but that's and so God would know those frequencies.
Yeah.
It could be possible that he could have hidden that knowledge. Now, here's the thing. Was that knowledge a pre-flood knowledge that then God hid for the next 2,000 years? And we're in the days of Noah again, and it'll be like the days of Noah, and we're starting to discover some of these effects of sound. Have you seen the thing about the water, which I haven't researched it anymore, but allegedly we saw that video. I think
we saw a video that, and I don't know how crazy this guy is,
but water has memory.
Yeah.
And
so cells have memory.
I was thinking something like that.
Any kind, not necessarily cells, but like atoms. Atoms, there's new studies now that atoms have memory.
Yes.
And it's just not even your brains aren't the only things that have memory.
And water, they have tested that water that is even played different kinds of music will look different when it is eventually like frozen and
right.
It's crazy.
And then it retains that.
It retains that.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
And so, but this
plays into my theory that I'm going to tell you about sometime.
Okay. But all of this, it plays into this idea that if God is God, he can interweave all of this into there.
Yeah.
So whether there was, let's say for the last 2,000 years, there were perfect red heifers all over the world.
Perfect red heifers.
Perfect red heifers all over the world. And so
please continue talking like that.
The odds of them being able to find a perfect red heifer, they should have found them.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I'm 12 years
but
old.
if God just simply blinded their eyes to it, they would never find it for 2,000 years. So then why all of a sudden? So that's the question you have to ask, is not necessarily why we don't know about the red heifer thing. Cause it's basic Bible law, and Abrahamic religions comprise 75% of the religions on earth. So we're saying that the 75% of the religion, people who are religious, not necessarily the religions. So Abrahamic religion, and all these Abrahamic religions know that you can't build a third temple until there is a perfect red heifer. But so why was that information then hidden? Why is it now all of a sudden?
I don't know that it was hidden. I just think that
why didn't we pay
Sunday school and church has been so watered down to a very happy, huggy thing without the doomsday part of it.
It's a combination between an omniscient God and people who he gave free will and have limited knowledge.
So let me give you an example.
But then there's also biblical examples of like where God hardens Pharaoh's heart, and like Tower of Babel, where God just scattered them and confused them and stuff like that. So at what point does he intervene like that? And anyways. Yeah.
So like to push that point of like, why don't people know about this? If you went to Rapid City and you hung out at the mall all day, you're going to run into thousands of people. Out of those thousands of people, if you just threw out there, tell me about what you know about red heifers. You'll get one, maybe, out of thousands of people. And I guarantee at least I would put upwards of 60, 70% of those people go to church on Sunday. They are religious people. They have no idea that this thing even exists. You know what I mean? Right. It's just a lack of information, just because, like I said, I've learned so much from you and from Courtney, just on, a theological level that I had and I grew up in church. I would like to think that I was pretty academic when it came to growing up in church. And there's things I've learned and then I verify them and look them up, and I'm like, they're speaking truth. This just isn't something that they talk about in churches. Yep. And I think the red heifer thing has been one of those things that just got lost in the stories that we hear.
Yeah.
So Mike, just for fun,
it's just sitting over there all quietly.
He is. You have actually
absorbing.
You have organically observed something that the Bible does actually prophesy, in that the last days, the hearts of people will grow cold, and they will look to pastors who will tickle their ears versus learning the deep truths of the Bible. And I think So now combine that. Now you've got a red heifer that's being sacrificed. Now combine that with, look at the
and I've got big ears for tickling.
He does have big ears. but so then you combine that and you start looking at, and you just take a step back and just kind of like observe like the tensions that are happening, the wars, the rumors of wars, the earthquakes, the weird ocean things that are starting to happen.
And we're
all
called to recognize and to watch for the signs of those
right.
times.
And all of those things are all of a sudden happening now. And there were, but combine that with something you organically observed as someone who grew up in church but isn't currently a Christian. You have observed that religion has become soft and has become something about tickling ears because having more people in the door is more important to churches, is more important to pastors than lives actually changed. And it's become more about numbers and money than it has about the actual life change that occurs when you have a real deep relationship with Jesus and you take the scriptures seriously and you allow your life to actually be transformed versus a feel-good religion that is based off of a God that will let me do whatever the heck I want and he just forgives me for it. That's a lot easier, and to just put that out there, it's a lot easier to get people through the door with that. And it has become about that because it's all, and we're going to kind of come full circle to the like internet age of things. It's all about those views. It's all about those clicks. It's all about getting people through the door. It's all about the money. It's all about this. And we completely lose sight of what actually matters in our lives, even from a non-Christian point, because now all of a sudden the what's online, your digital profile, the perfect life that you present is more important than posting the real life struggles, the real life consequences, the real life things that have happened. And those things now get kind of put in the back burner and kind of hidden away and tucked away. And religion has mimicked that alongside of society, I feel like.
Which is a big part of, because we talked about that I am very spiritual, but I am not religious. Right. And that's a big part of it is the dogma and the ceremony of it and things like that. To me, spirituality is very organic and it's very real and it's in every part of my life. We talked about, so I just discovered this with, I was talking to my son Caleb. Like we've already figured out that Macy, my daughter Macy, is kind of a, statistic rarity. Like the things that had to happen for her to even be on this planet is huge. You know, Caleb, we found out the other day from him, he went to the eye doctor. He's got he's got a birthmark on each of his eyes and it's in the shape of a Y.
He's the Antichrist. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Why for Yeshua?
Just living in my house, like growing up in my house. How would you like that status? How'd you like that status? My son, what's your son doing? Well, he's the Antichrist.
Dude, you know, there was a sketch, a group who did that. It was called like the Antichrist on speech team.
Yeah,
when I was,
funny.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
That's great.
Anyways,
continue.
back in high school.
Anyway, these birthmarks. So he was doing research trying to figure out why he has. So statistically speaking, like 1 in 10,000 people has a birthmark of a Y on one eye. And the number of people that have it on both eyes is so small that they can't even quantify it. That's how rare it is, this thing that he has. But
I have a speck
you know what I
on
mean?
one of
Like
my
there's
eyes.
just weird things.
Is that
like
a birthmark son?
I didn't know eyes could
I have a
have
speck on one eye.
birthmarks.
Yeah.
Me
It's
either.
considered a
No,
birthmark.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's crazy.
It's considered because we started talking about way back we talked about in like native tradition and a lot of native traditions, whatever your birthmark is, that's a sign to how you died in your last life if you believe in reincarnation and stuff. So we started talking about that, and I didn't even know that, but apparently the eye doctor told him, he's like, wow, you have this weird eye birthmark in both eyes. I've never seen anything like that. And he looked it up, and apparently like nobody has.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, just rarities like that.
That's nuts.
I don't know. Like I said, just super organic like that. And just within science, I've always seen things like, gosh, I saw this documentary one time. They were talking about the Passover and how the first sons dying and stuff like that. And only the first sons of that. And I'm so far from reading the Passover story that, you know, I'm paraphrasing really poorly, but on this thing, they said that the lake they live by, because everybody lived by lakes and rivers. That's where you lived. The lake actually, there was volcanic activity under the lake that caused the lake to become an alkali lake. And the gases from that floated. And because the gases were heavy, they only floated like 3 feet above the ground. And so anybody who was sleeping on the floor,
I've heard this before.
Yeah.
anybody who was sleeping on the floor died.
Yeah.
When those households, the oldest son in the house slept by the door. It was a security thing. And so all of those firstborn sons died. So there's a scientific explanation for the Passover, because the ones who survived weren't part of that religion, obviously, you know. And so
Right.
There's a scientific explanation for it. But to me, for all of those things to happen the way they were, and to be prophesied
warned,
like
yeah.
that, and this is what's going to happen,
Right.
that is an organic God. That is a real
Right.
living,
Yeah.
you know, to me. So, you know, I hear stories like that, and, you know, I look for the science of it, the human side of it, the I can touch it side of it.
Right.
But it
we've
doesn't
talked about,
change
like,
the fact that
the Nile will turn to blood,
you know?
that kind of stuff. But was
Yeah.
it just like red tide or whatever, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff too?
it can happen. Yeah, speaking of the Mediterranean Sea is red right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Fun fact.
Not creepy at all.
But no, I agree. I don't think that I believe that thinking that all of the events that happened to get the Jews out of Egypt being a scientific thing that happened, I don't think that takes away from God at all. And in fact, I would actually say that it more so proves a God, because again, interweaving with his own creation to make these things come about, but then foretelling and having him the going to the Pharaoh and saying this is going to happen, and it happens without knowledge of that science.
Right.
I think shows the power of God even more than just God went through and took them all out, you know. But you know, it does talk about the angel of death and all
So
that kind of
my
stuff
alien
too,
theory is an end days theory. Do you want to hear my theory?
Go for it. Let's go for it.
It's a good. You guys haven't. Tanner's heard this theory. You guys haven't heard this theory, and this is just for fun. This was just off the top of my head, just because my brain. Tanner talks about how his brain works. My brain just like wanders and like makes connections that aren't really there. So don't put too much into it. But this was a weird theory that I came up with. So, do you guys know how they started to discover that we had the 8 planets in our solar system? 9 if you think Pluto's a planet. Do you know how they discovered all of those? They only knew of 3 of them to start out with. And then a mathematician went in and figured out that all of them are mathematically, this is another God thing. Like, what are the odds that they are all mathematically spaced out? There's a mathematic formula to figure out where they are. And they were like, well, if this mathematic formula applies absolutely, and we want to make it a law, let's start looking and applying it. So they looked and they found another planet. And they looked at where it should be and they found another planet. And they looked where it should be and they found another planet. One of those planets was missing. And guess what was there? The asteroid belt. And so there's a theory that there used to be a planet there and that planet got destroyed. I was also watching a show about cellular memory, and that they're doing studies on that our cells and our atoms store memories. And that sometimes when we have dreams that don't make sense, or you have deja vu, that is a cellular memory. And the reason they're thinking that is when people get organ transplants, sometimes they have memories that aren't theirs. And that's why they started studying it.
Sometimes it changes the behavior of the person.
Right. It changes their habits, things like that.
Nuts.
So here's
Mom's going to eat this.
So here's where my theory gets weird. So what if those who were prophesying the end of the world were not seeing the future, they were seeing the past? And we used to live on a different planet. And that's why humans don't really fit into the whole animal kingdom thing, is that we came here as aliens because the apocalypse already happened on another planet. And we blew up that planet and we ended up here. So that would make Revelation come before Genesis in the Bible. Weird theory.
It was a weird theory.
I know. I just like throwing
It is a fun. It's a fun.
It's
theory.
fun. It's fun to look at stuff like that.
And we're not talking aliens or anything, but that asteroid that's the not asteroid, the interstellar object that's going to pass by Mars.
Yeah.
And that thing's weird. And we're going to get into that. Maybe we'll save that for next week then.
I actually have a really
Save
nice
all
way
the
to
really
tie
just-
together what Mike was just talking about with our next episode. So I'm going to...
Sweet. Make sure to write it down.
I will.
Remember it.
Yeah,
I will.
That'd be awesome.
Good. That'll be a good teaser for
Yeah.
our next one. Aliens.
I need to write it down, but I want to talk about the quote unquote the Watchers when we talk about aliens next week too.
Just space stuff is fun. Like the fact that the moon, like our moon, doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like
That doesn't
ratio wise, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It shouldn't be there. It's like somebody sat it there because we needed it to be there. The moon is weird. Yeah.
So to end today's episode, let's end on something fun.
Sweet.
Fun fact. So in 2013, this is real. This actually was posted in the newspaper.
I'm glad he gives us.
I was
real
literally.
things.
I feel like I made that one happen just now because I was just thinking you talking about pervert heifers. So
Pervert heifers. Pervert heifers.
I feel like I just sent that to you, and your mouth just went blah blah blah. So, anyways, okay, go ahead.
We're ceremonizing the pervert heifers.
Yes. Okay. So in 2013, there were 4 schools in Zimbabwe that actually closed down completely because goblins were sneaking into the schools, slapping kids, shaving their heads, and then SAing the police officers who came to investigate. Real story. I confirmed it. This actually happened.
What?
Is there video?
That's the thing. There's no video.
Oh
but
my God.
4 separate, not connected schools in Zimbabwe closed because goblins were coming in, slapping kids, shaving their heads, and then essaying the police officers who came in to investigate.
Oh my God.
So then eventually the parents stopped sending their kids to school because they were afraid for their kids' safety. And the schools were forced to shut down because nobody was attending.
So if
schools.
Nephilim are giants, then what would the goblins be? Just demons?
Yeah. So there's one of the theories of good.
I'm just picturing this thing.
I think someone mixed up a delivery of drinking water with acid.
But the police officers who came to investigate.
No, the whole communities, like four communities, all were given drinking water, and it had acid in it or something. So
they put mushrooms on the pizza. And it was wrong kind of mushrooms.
I feel like that's a farther fetch than that. A demon was pretending to be a goblin.
Yeah, probably.
But that's the thing in these African countries, and we'll talk about this next week, and this will be a good tie-in. But in these African countries, these things they're real.
Those happen.
Oh yeah, they're not like.
Well, you've talked about it before. In American culture, we're the only ones that think these are weird things. Like in other cultures, like leprechauns and goblins and fairies, they're all real.
So again, this is going to be a great tie-in. But now think back to the Native American cultures in America.
Yep.
And some of the ways in which they believed and saw their gods are very similar to every other culture or worldwide outside of the modern Western culture.
Yeah.
At some point.
So I've told Tanner this before too. Like if you watch the movie The Watchers, they're fairies, but if you watch it from the point of them being fallen angels instead of, because the Shyamalans, they do that kind of thing. The aliens are actually demons kind of thing. So
the signs.
Yeah,
signs. I just
that whole theory that makes sense, and he's confirmed that that's what it was. But his daughter created the movie The Watchers, and in the movie, and I don't want to give too many spoilers, but in the movie, they're fairies. But if you watch it from they're fallen angel standpoint, it is a whole different movie.
I believe it.
So yeah, we get the opportunity to watch that from that angle.
Yeah, definitely. That was a fun fact. That was good. And watch The Watchers and picture demons. And I don't do that. But yeah, so a year, man. Wow. This is
50 episodes.
This was a perfect year-end episode. 50 episodes in and going strong and continuing to grow. We again
the impressions were
go back
fire. Having Courtney back is amazing.
Don't forget to buy Dubby and use our code BA Bigfoot, all one word. You get 10% off, and we get that 10%.
Did we officially bestow the trophy to the winner?
No, because we'll have to do it next week. Oh, because technically we were tied, so we decided. Because I was saying we can either end it on a tie. or we could
Or we can go fight in the
more.
yard. Oh, wait, no, we're not going to do that. Okay.
Oh, it's not like this.
I'm down.
Phil, you going to be the referee?
Fight in the yard.
Sure. Yeah.
Just mow our lawn while you're at it, please.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Yes, join the Patreon and
Weigh in on the can cracking.
yeah, they're cracking cans. Phil, let
The
them
cack
know.
and crayons.
Let them know what they should do
Cracking
because you're back again.
The like, comment,
No,
what?
they'll do that too, but
Oh.
to be their
Sorry, what?
Be their BA best.
Oh yeah, your BA best. We love you guys. Thank you for listening to our show.
For real, thank you for every single one of you guys that have listened. Man, the amount. So some of you guys have binged this show.
I've
The
seen
fact that
comments like
the fact that you want to listen to our voices for a couple hours a week astounds me. The fact that you would be willing to listen to our voices.
Listen to our voices.
Willing to listen to our voices.
for hours on end every day to catch up.
Like it's
blows
a
my
part-time job.
As I'm pretty
Voiced it
amazed.
now.
Putting in the hours.
What are we doing here?
Pretty impressed. But for real though, like that alone is like
That means
I don't
a
even
lot.
know. Yeah, I don't know
That
how to
means a lot.
explain how much that means. 'cause
Ironically,
He ran out of
me
ran out of
speechless.
words.
You left.
He ran out of words.
You left a man who is never short of words speechless.
For approximately 3 seconds.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Longer than I've ever got him to shut up.
Thank you all. Sincerely, thank you all.
Yeah.
Look for big things coming, and a year in, and I don't see this thing slowing down. It's continuing to grow, continuing to get bigger, and we owe it to you guys, the listeners, for sharing it with your friends, for searching for it, for giving us a chance. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next year of the show, which is next week. All right, love you guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God